It's wonderful. It's amazing. I mean, it's not it. I'm in Dallas. Everybody's talking, so I can't do two things at once. And I'm chewing.
You're letting your challenge. I heard that. That's true.
Got all sorts of stuff on there. Have you been to all these? Yeah. That's great.
Thank you very much.
Please rise in body or spirit as we sing our gathering hymn, number 347, Gather the Spirit. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist congregation of Hillsborough. We are an open and welcoming congregation, so whoever you are, member, friend, or guest, we are glad you are here. We are a community of liberal, open-minded people who strive to connect with one another in love. We are defined by covenant rather than by a statement of belief or creed. We support each other in spiritual growth, deepening of faith, and challenge one another to find more love and deep truth inside ourselves and in the world. I would like to thank everyone who has made this special worship celebration possible, starting with our amazing music coordinator, Evita Enoch. Thank you to Diana Phillips, who is our listening ear today. A huge thank you to AJ Mayhew and AC Tharrington, who produced and distributed our orders of service. My name is Caroline Welty, and I'm the worship associate today. Our speaker today is Tristan Surimi. Okay, Tristan is a new UU, having started coming to this congregation last year when he started dating Heather. He likes to think of himself as the BB king of having diabetes. He is one of the all-time greats in this field. They are both musicians and diabetics, which hopefully helps you appreciate that joke more. Tristan grew up in Durham, North Carolina, where he fell deeply in love with music. He got a bachelor's of music in jazz performance at the University of North Carolina, Wilmington, and has been teaching music camps and lessons in the Triangle for the last 13 and a half years. When not exploring music and being a father, you might find him watching NFL football and making terrible puns, or eating an excessive amount of food. Usually eating, he says. Today, Tristan will be talking about his struggles with autism, diabetes, and life's obstacles, and finding the courage to work through them and grow to accept himself. Before we create our sacred space and begin worship, let's take a moment to share any announcements. I don't have any, but are there announcements for the good of the community?
Hello, I'm Heather Kraft. For those of you who haven't heard yet, I am reviving the UUCH Halloween Carnival. So it's going to be, it's going to be on the 30th, that's Sunday, from 3 to 6 p.m. If you want to help set up, I'm just going to start after coffee hour that Sunday at church. And if you know anybody who would enjoy coming to the carnival, please, 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 please bring them.
I'm Diana Phillips, and I'm the listening ear today. So if you have anything you want to talk about or complain about, I'll be here.
Hello, I'm Alicia. I wanted to just let you know that we have hired a new program administrator, and she is Amy, and she's over there. So she will be starting today, right?
If there are no more announcements, let's silence our cell phones, put them in worship mode, and please keep our masks on. We will now create our sacred space by lighting our chalice, which is the UU symbol for the light of truth that each of us seeks, the light of hope that each of us brings, in the eternal light of love.
Our chalice lighting this morning is Out of the Flames by Reverend Sarah Lawal. Out of the flames of fear, we rise with courage of our deepest convictions to stand for justice, inclusion, and peace. Out of the flames of scrutiny, we rise to proclaim our faith with hope to heal a fractured and hurting world. Out of the flames of doubt, we rise to embrace the mystery, wonder, and awe of all there is and all that is yet to be. Out of the flames of hate, we rise with the force of love, love that celebrates our shared humanity. Out of the flames, we rise.
Meditation on Courage and Vulnerability by the Reverend Douglas Taylor. I am learning to let down my guard. We all know about the deep instinct to respond to difficulty and stress with either fight or flight, with force or swift retreat, with decisive action or prompt withdrawal. When faced with stress or difficulty or challenge, I am learning to let down my guard. I am learning to be vulnerable. I am seeking the courage to be open. I would have my vulnerability be a choice made from my courage rather than my fear. I would have my vulnerability be my strength. May my strength be not found as a hard shell of defense or a sharp weapon of attack. May my strength instead be found an open stance of kindness and empathy, like a tree bending gracefully in the windstorm. May my strength be found in a willingness to join in the suffering of others, like a forest of trees together in a storm. May I choose to be receptive rather than protective, sharing rather than shielded. In this way, may I face my own suffering and the suffering of others with a nimble capacity to respond with compassion. In this way, may my vulnerability be an invitation for others to meet me in the open field with a yearning for understanding and peace. I know this is a risk. I know I may be hurt. I know things may not go well. But still, I will seek the courage to set aside the closed fist, the stinging retort, the barbed judgment of others. I will seek within myself the strength to stand exposed and unguarded before the world in the wind, open to difficulty. Not because I cannot be any other way, but because I have chosen this better way. I am still learning to be vulnerable. I seek the courage to be so vulnerable. May I have others who can help me be so courageous. May my example serve others as well as myself. And may my strength be our strength in sharing this life openly with others. Please stand in either body or spirit as we sing our opening hymn, Wake Now My Senses, number 298.
Ours is a welcoming community where we find connection, a sharing community where our joys are celebrated, and a caring community where our sorrows are lessened. Each Sunday, we take some time to reflect on the special happenings that have occurred this week among our members and friends. Some choose to share aloud, while others choose to remain silent. Here, we make room for both. For those of you who would like to share aloud, please take a moment before we begin to center yourself and collect your thoughts so that what you share this morning is personal, heartfelt, and brief. Please come forward, tell us your name, and share what is in your heart. When you are finished, you may release a stone into the vase on the altar. If you're joining us online and would like to share with those here, please chat in your joys or concerns and indicate whether you would like them read aloud here, and we'll drop a stone for you. For those of you who prefer to silently acknowledge your joys and sorrows remaining in your hearts, I invite you to come to the altar and release a stone into the vase in silence while Aviva plays Voice Still and Small. After Aviva has played through it one time, you are all invited to join in singing, and the words are printed in your order of service. We hold all these things within the heart of this community, both spoken and unspoken, by remaining silent for a moment as we consider what has been shared and how we might respond. May the community respond, amen, and blessed be. Let us now sing the children to class with the children's blessing inside the back cover of the hymnal.
See if we can get a slightly more reasonable level. And this fun way to start this up, yes. Very good. Hello. I'm Tristan Cerny, as you may or may not have heard before. So, yes, when Heather first approached me and she was like, would you like to, give a sermon today and talk about courage? My very, very first reaction and instinct was anxiety and fear. Just like, what do I have to say that actually has any weight or really, is worth talking about? And while I feel very comfortable performing on stage, this is public speaking, totally different beast. So, like I wrote in there, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit more just about my development through life and all the things that created a lot of anxiety and a lot of dealing with really trying to find myself, find out who I was, and learning to accept myself, mistakes and all, and carry that forward in life. And it really kind of started, well, I didn't really have a lot of opportunity when I was younger because I was nonverbal till I was about 3.5 years old. In fact, my mother took me and got me diagnosed with autism when I was 1.5 with a special communication disorder, and the amount of courage it took her to really even fight through all that, and despite my dad just, not really believing there was anything wrong with me, and her working every day, at least an hour a day, usually more, to try and, get me to open up, get me to talk. She started teaching me sign language at some point, and just the things I put her through. Now, I remember there's, well, I don't remember it. She remembers it very well. There was this one day, there was a large rainstorm outside, and she had gone off to feed the horses, and when she came back to find the door was locked. And so she tried knocking on the door, and she tried yelling my name, and eventually they came to the door, and she knew that I couldn't talk. She was like, can you open the door? Can you open the door? I was just standing there like, and eventually she started going, open, which I maybe that's right in sign language. Like I said, I don't remember it anymore. And so she started doing that, and I didn't really do anything. I just stood there staring at her, and she didn't know what to do. So she ran out to the next door neighbor's house, borrowed this giant ladder, and as she was bringing the ladder up, she was going to walk it around the other side of the house and open the door from there. I was just standing at the door going, with the biggest grin on my face, because I was so excited. I was like, I'm communicating with Bobby, I'm doing open. Of course I had no idea what to let her in. And that was just, it wasn't the beginning, but really, I thought it was a good encapsulation of just all the crazy things that were happening with her trying to take care of me with that. And funnily enough, when I was about 3.5 years old, I finally said my first word. My first word was cookie. Now I have diabetes. I think of it as self-fulfilling prophecy, but to each their own. But no, it took a long time for me to speak, took a long time for me to, well, I didn't really feel comfortable as a kid. I didn't really fit in with anyone, didn't know how to communicate with them. My brain was going in an entirely different place than seemingly most of the people I was around would do. Lots and lots of bullying and things like that in elementary school, middle school, just never really fit in, was always kind of like scared, shy, just all the things that were happening. And eventually I started finding something that made me actually feel something, and that wound up being music. And I would like to say that I found my love for music just, through an earnest place, and it just happened, and we just met and we were in love from then on. So I did a little bit of piano in like 6th and 7th grade, but what really kicked it was honestly jealousy. Because my brother had been learning guitar before, and my dad plays guitar and harmonica, and so when my brother and dad started to play together, I got so jealous. I wanted to play music with my dad. And so I started learning and, wound up taking it way farther than any of them. Just unsurpassing. And I finally kind of had some sort of language, which was I started to feel comfortable sharing myself with people through. Well, it's not a great sentence, but we're going to move on anyways. And finally had some communication in that, and it became all I wanted to do and all I wanted to say, and I fell in love with it. But with all that, it took a lot of courage for me to ask my parents if I could go to school for music instead of going to school for either a full scholarship or offering to pay me to go for math or science, which had happened. And I'm sure it took even more courage for my parents to say, yeah, explore that dream of, trying to be successful doing jazz in America. And I'm skipping on little things, but so I did that, and I went to college, and by the time I got to college, I far along was not the only scared or anxious or non-courageous person around. This is a bunch of people going on their own for the first time in their lives, and we kind of shared together. I really started to find myself a little bit. And then, sorry, I'm getting a little audibly distracted. And then spring break of my sophomore year of college happened, and I was up in Boone visiting my brother. We were having a delightful time, and my mom called me and she was like, "You need to leave early. I scheduled you an appointment back in Durham at 8 in the morning to figure out what was wrong with you." And I was like, "Sure." I'm like, eating way more than I ever did, and I'm like thinner than I ever was, and I look like a ghost, but I'm fine, I'm having fun. And I was so angry with her and upset with her. And it took a lot to go down there, but for those of you familiar, normal blood sugar is around 100 to like 120, 130, like most of you, that's where you're gonna be sitting at. So when we told my doctor what was going on and she checked and it was 587, we figured out something might have been wrong. So it turns out that St. Patrick's Day was when I got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, and that kind of hit the reset on everything again. I really just started to get comfortable opening up a bit more and trying to be myself, and then this wrench was thrown in everything, and I missed several weeks of school, and I had to relearn from the base how to eat. That was terrifying. I was terrified of getting food from any sort of restaurant. I lived inside nutritional information and pamphlets about that. And it took a very, 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 very long time to get through, and it's been a lot of years, and I still have struggles with it sometimes, but at least that part's been going a little bit better. And I graduated college, and I've been teaching music camps through the summers, and I started doing private lessons, and I've been doing that a lot. And then around the same time that I had a really bad breakup was shortly after my parents had finally gotten divorced. Which, when I was younger, I used to joke like, my parents were like such opposites. They were like staying together for the kids, and then I went to college and they got divorced. So, the joke wasn't as funny anymore. But my mom and I were living together at the time, and we were both kind of falling out, and at that time, both probably drinking more than we should have. And it was during that time where, I wasn't really doing enough to support myself. I got afraid of the world and shut down again, and my mom was experiencing a similar thing. And it got to the point where I had to get my, first job that wasn't involved in music or teaching music. Like, how was I going to do that? How was I going to do something new? I just one of the definite runoffs with the autism is I struggle with change. I struggle with change a lot. So that was terrifying when that was new. And fortunately, I had a friend who was already working at Starbucks, and so he was able to get me working there and worked there for the next 6 years. And I'd probably honestly say it took me an equal amount of strength to actually get started there than it did to quit. Because in case anyone was curious, health insurance in this country is very, very, very expensive. Especially if you already have a pre-existing condition.
Amen.
As I do. And it was risking putting me in a place of financial insecurity. But with the time I was going to have, and with, being able to go home and not feel like I want to chop my feet off because I hurt so much, kind of new opportunities arose where I kind of met somebody in this room. I met Heather. We met at a mutual friend's funeral, and somehow that wound up being a catalyst to begin a new life. And it's not the first relationship that I've been in, but it's really been the first one where I've kind of assumed the role of being a father as well. And let me tell you, working with kids for years and years and years does not prepare you to take on the responsibility of them by any stretch of the imagination. It is, and you talk about that's a full-time job. Yes, absolutely. And for someone who feels uncomfortable taking full care of himself, I got 2 more people that I'm supposed to look out for. But it's really digging into myself, and just, I'm sure all of us in this room know that we're not perfect, and everyone has the things they're afraid of and their flaws and all, and it had felt like in my life every time I was really starting to finally get comfortable with myself, I found reasons to just kind of shut back in and not really want to go out into the world that much and just find my comfort zone and live in that. But really, each time I've been able to climb out has led to some of the best happenings and opportunities in my life. Some of them by chance, some of them intentional. The ability to move forward is not the easiest thing for me. Some people it's easy, some people it's hard, some people, it's not a normal thing you spend a lot of time mulling on. I myself do spend a lot of time mulling on it. And I think that really, I had a way to put this and I've forgotten it, so this is going to be a very pregnant pause, my apologies. The less afraid I've been to be myself and be honest with myself about who I am and what I want to be and how I want to be has been the thing that has led me to find the people that accept me for who I am and that love me for who I am, that I love for who they are, and grow the community that I have. And well, hey, I'm here talking to all of you, so clearly just having that courage to really go for just treating life organically and treating myself as more of a person than looking at myself by my problems or my inhibitions or conditions. That's allowed me to kind of be here today. And I know it feels like a ridiculous thing to stand up here and say don't be afraid. Just be more courageous. Just do what you want to do. And it's not always how it works, but not being afraid to be yourself and having the courage to live your life through that lens without worrying about how other people see you or judge you does a lot to help make it work. And to close, I wanted to, so I entitled this, How Do You Fly? Because there was a set of lyrics from, well, my musical crush, Jamie Cullum, my absolute favorite musician, and that kind of really inspired me to think down this path. And I just wanted to play a small excerpt of it for you before I sat back down. I don't think I need to leave this up here.
Let's say hello to the give her away, tell her it's okay to be scared of being discovered, find it hard to trust another. To feel loved and like a child when you are grown. And how do we fly? 'Cause I think I'm ready to give it a try. Amen.
Each week, we take a monetary offering to support our social justice work in the community. This support comes in the form of donations. This month, our community partner is Justice United. You may donate by putting cash or a check in the basket. Make checks out to UUCH and put plate in the subject line. You may also donate online by going to our website, uuchnc.org, or by scanning the QR code in your bulletin. please join me in our prayer of collective gratitude found in your order of service. For the love that surrounds us every morning, for the friends beside us, and for the generous gifts just received, let us be truly grateful. Now please rise in either body or spirit for Lean on Me number 1021 in the teal hymn.
I made a little scheduling error, and the person who's going to do our closing words is an RE, so I'm going to do the closing words, which is The World is Too Beautiful by Eric Williams. The world is too beautiful to be praised by only one voice. May you have the courage to sing your part. The world is too broken to be healed by one set of hands. May you have the courage to use your gifts. May you go in peace.
Please join me while we extinguish the chalice. The words are printed in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, nor the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Go in peace and blessed be.